Have you ever wondered why, despite all your efforts, it still feels like you're running in circles, unable to change something essential in your life? It's like trying to open a locked door while your dreams remain just out of reach on the other side. This sense of frustration is painful and many times seems never-ending. Feeling stuck can be exhausting and discouraging. But know that it's not because you're not trying hard enough. Perhaps you're simply focusing on the wrong things. When our attention is trapped by fears, doubts, or past failures, we end up stuck in repetitive cycles. The good news is that there is a way to break free from this cycle, by consciously shifting your focus to what can truly transform your reality. That's exactly what I'm going to show you today: how to powerfully direct your attention to create the life you desire. And before we embark on this transformative journey together, make sure to subscribe to the channel. This way, you'll receive content that can truly make a difference in your life, bringing more clarity and purpose. Let's walk this path of change together. The power of focus in creating reality. Imagine you are navigating a boat in the middle of a lake. If you only fix your eyes on the surrounding storms, the fear of sinking grows, and your actions may become hesitant. But if you direct your attention to the distant shore, your destination, each stroke becomes firmer, more purposeful. In the same way, your focus determines where the energy of your life flows. When you focus on obstacles, they seem larger. But when you set your sights on the path you want to follow, the journey begins to make sense. Focus can be compared to a magnifying glass. When you concentrate the sun's rays on a single point, the generated heat can even start a fire. But when the light spreads without direction, nothing happens. The same goes for your life. When your energy and attention are scattered, the impact diminishes. But when you intensely direct your focus towards a goal or solution, your capacity to achieve results increases significantly. Think of moments when you felt stuck, trying to learn something new or improve in a specific area, but your mind kept replaying every failure or obstacle. When you focus on those difficulties, your brain believes there is no way out. However, by redirecting it to small advances or possibilities within your reach, the path becomes less daunting. For example, if you are facing a challenge, like public speaking or starting a project, focusing on every small progress instead of possible errors can transform your perspective and make goals more attainable. Let's consider someone who wants to improve their physical health. Instead of fixating on what they dislike about themselves or the distance to their goals, this person can redirect their focus to small daily actions, such as exercising, adjusting their diet, or getting better sleep. Studies on neuroplasticity show that the brain is shaped by where we direct our attention. By focusing on positive habits, new neural connections are created, strengthening behavioral patterns that once seemed unreachable. This is proof that you can train your mind to work in your favor. Life works this way. We are constantly making choices about where to place our attention. The truth is, when you allow yourself to be trapped by negative thoughts or constant worries, you end up feeding those things. It's like watering the wrong plants in your garden. Everything you don't want starts to grow. But what if instead you chose a different path? If you could direct your attention to what truly matters and make it flourish. That is the power of focus. Studies show that practicing conscious focus, such as mindfulness meditation, can significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels by redirecting attention to the present moment. Research published by the American Psychological Association found that people who practice this form of attention are 23% more likely to experience a reduction in repetitive and intrusive thoughts that lead to depression. Can you imagine the impact that this simple shift in focus could have on your life? If redirecting your attention can change even the physical functioning of your brain, imagine what it could do for your daily reality. You might be wondering, how can I stop thinking about the bad things that seem to invade my mind? The first step is to bring awareness to where your attention is being directed. You may notice that you spend a lot of time reliving painful memories or worrying about situations that haven't happened yet. This pattern of focus drains your energy and creates an automatic loop. Think of it as a mental strengthening exercise. Just as training a muscle requires continuous practice, Redirecting your focus also demands consistent effort. When you find yourself caught up in thoughts of fear or doubt, take a pause and ask yourself, is this thought helping me create the life I want? If the answer is no, you have the power to change your mental course. Consider a soccer game. Focusing solely on not making mistakes increases fear and the likelihood of errors. Instead, focusing on each move and enjoying the game shifts your energy, allowing your mind and body to work together to achieve your best performance. Small redirections like this make a huge difference. Now, think about the challenges you face, whether at work, in a relationship, or in achieving a distant goal. Ask yourself, where am I pointing my flashlight? Focusing only on difficulties traps your energy, but when you redirect it to solutions and concrete steps, you move closer to what you desire. It's not about ignoring problems, but deciding where to invest your energy. Focusing on fear or doubt amplifies them. Opportunities grow when you feed them with attention. And do you know what the most powerful part of all this is? You have control over where to place your focus. It may seem difficult at first, but each moment is an opportunity to choose. When you find yourself trapped in negative thoughts, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this what I want to feed? If not, redirect your light toward something that brings you hope, strength, or a new perspective. Over time, you'll see that your reality begins to transform according to where you choose to focus. Two types of focus, polar and non-polar. Think of your attention as a garden. If you spend all your time pulling out weeds, they will always seem to multiply. But when you start planting flowers, nurturing the right plants and caring for the soil, the garden begins to bloom, and the weeds lose space. This is how the energy of your life works. What you cultivate grows. When you direct your focus to things you want to nurture, what doesn't serve you begins to lose strength. There are two main types of focus we all use, often without realizing it: polar focus and non-polar focus. To understand the difference, let's imagine you are facing a challenge. It could be a difficult situation at work, a health problem, or even something emotionally troubling. With polar focus, your mind starts to divide everything into opposites: good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure. You are drawn to one side and repelled by the other. This type of focus creates tension. It's like trying to push open a jammed door with all your strength, but without success. Consider a common example. You try to avoid a specific mistake because you are afraid of failing. The more you focus on the mistake you want to avoid, the more it seems to follow you. Polar focus creates a cycle where you attract exactly what you want to avoid. If you've ever experienced trying not to think about something and ending up thinking about it constantly, you know how polar focus works. Non-polar focus, on the other hand, is like letting a river flow without barriers. In this state, you neither cling to what you see as good nor try to repel what you perceive as bad. You simply observe and accept the moment, allowing it to pass. Although simple, it is powerful. Problems that once seemed overwhelming begin to lose strength, like a leaf floating downstream. To illustrate this further, imagine you are stuck in an emotional situation. Perhaps someone deeply hurt you, and you can't stop thinking about what happened. Every thought makes you relive the pain, bringing back hurt, anger, and sadness. This is polar focus at work. You are clinging to the event and the pain it causes, trying to avoid it but simultaneously trapped by it. What if you switch to non-polar focus? This doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending nothing happened. It means acknowledging that it occurred, accepting that there are feelings involved, but not letting yourself be trapped by them. You observe the pain as if watching a leaf float down a river. It comes, passes, and moves on. Over time, this pain starts to lose its control over you. I invite you to reflect on a moment when you tried to rid yourself of a thought or feeling, but the more you fought it, the more stuck you felt. This is the effect of polar focus. Now, imagine taking a deep breath and simply observing what you're feeling. You acknowledge the emotion, accept that it is there, and allow it to pass without resistance. When you no longer empower these feelings with your resistance, they naturally weaken. Let's apply this to everyday situations. Think of someone who struggles in relationships. Maybe they were hurt or disappointed in the past, and now they live in fear of it happening again. Unconsciously, they focus so much on avoiding these outcomes that they end up attracting more of them. Fear of failure, rejection, or repeating negative patterns becomes the center of their attention. Here, polar focus creates a barrier. To change this, the person needs to learn to apply non-polar focus. Observe the fear without attaching to it, accept that the possibility exists, but not let that energy control their actions. You might be wondering, how can I use this in my life practically? I'll give you a simple 3-step approach for when you find yourself in a state of tension or fear. First step: acknowledge what is happening. When a thought or emotion arises, say to yourself, I see what's happening. I am afraid, worried, or angry. Second step: accept it without judgment. Instead of trying to fight what you feel, take a deep breath and allow the emotion to be present. Don't try to get rid of it immediately, just observe. Third step: choose not to react in a polarized way. This means you don't have to act out of fear or anger. You can just let it pass, like a cloud crossing the sky. By practicing non-polar focus, you'll begin to realize you have much more control over how you react to situations. It doesn't mean everything will be resolved instantly, but you'll no longer feel at the mercy of your emotions. When the barriers of polar focus fall, energy flows more naturally. You start attracting more of what you want instead of feeling trapped by what you want to avoid. There is something freeing about realizing you can choose where to focus. You don't have to be a prisoner of repetitive patterns or draining situations. With practice, non-polar focus becomes a powerful tool for dealing with challenges and creating the reality you desire. The key is to remember that you always have the choice of where to place your attention. If it's in a place that empowers you and brings you peace, your life will begin to change. Did you enjoy learning about the power of polar and non-polar focus? Have you ever felt trapped in cycles of fear, doubt, or resistance? Tell us, what specific situation would you like to transform with this new focus approach? What challenge has been consuming your attention lately? Share how you are trying to redirect your energy or what inspires you to change. We'd love to hear the real stories of those, like you, who are seeking to transform their reality. Comment below and connect with others on this journey. How society controls your focus. Society plays a huge role in shaping and directing our focus. Every day, we are bombarded with information from all sides: news, social media, advertising, conversations. This constant flow keeps us in heightened emotional states like fear, anger, and anxiety. Have you noticed how many messages try to convince you that something is wrong with you, or that you need to do more to be accepted? This bombardment is no accident. It is designed to capture and manipulate your attention. The more you focus on these messages, the more they shape your worldview, draining your energy and keeping you in a cycle of insecurity. The reason behind this is that the human brain is wired to focus on threats as a survival mechanism. Our ancestors needed to be alert to real dangers like predators or resource scarcity. Today, however, this mechanism is exploited by modern society. Sensational news, alarming headlines, and fear-driven narratives capture our attention by triggering this basic defense instinct. The more you focus on danger, the more your body and mind stay in constant alert. This creates a sense of continuous tension and fatigue, leaving you vulnerable to external manipulation. Another important point is how society creates standards for comparison and validation. From an early age, we are conditioned to believe that we need to reach certain benchmarks for success, beauty, wealth, or happiness to be accepted. Social media amplifies this, showing us seemingly perfect lives. If you've ever found yourself falling into these comparisons, it might be time to redirect your attention. Focus on your own progress and what truly matters to you, and watch how it changes your perception of value. When you focus on what you believe is missing, whether it's appearance, status, or achievements, you expend an enormous amount of energy trying to fill a void that often isn't truly yours. Think about how society reinforces the idea of scarcity. We constantly hear that there is not enough time, money, love, opportunities. This kind of messaging makes us concentrate on what we feel we lack. When you focus on what you don't have, your mind becomes fixated on feelings of insufficiency, leading to even more anxiety and fear. But this cycle can be broken. When you shift your attention to what you already have or to small steps you can take, you begin to change your perception of reality. This redirection is powerful but requires practice and conscious intention. Control of focus doesn't only happen through negative messages. It often comes in subtler forms, disguised as validation or promises of happiness. Think of advertisements that imply you need a specific product to be accepted or feel better. These campaigns know exactly how to capture your attention by creating a sense of urgency or inadequacy. It's a planned strategy to direct your energy toward consumption or the endless pursuit of external validation. And what about the fear of judgment? We live with the constant worry of what others might think. This fear makes us hesitate, abandon ideas, or even change who we are in an attempt to fit external standards. When you focus on avoiding criticism or pleasing others, you move away from yourself. The time and energy spent trying to be what society expects could be used to nurture your dreams, values, and what truly matters to you. But the fear of being rejected or different is a powerful tool that manipulates collective focus. How can you start taking back control of your focus? The first step is awareness. Stop and observe your daily habits. How often do you get caught up in social media, consume negative news, or engage in unproductive arguments? How often do you compare your life with what you see online? Becoming aware of this is essential because our attention is limited. Whatever you focus on grows in importance and takes up more space in your mind. Ask yourself, who is dictating where I put my attention? Another key point is to question, what in society is shaping my desires and fears? Many of our fears and aspirations are not truly ours. They are reflections of what we have been led to believe. Fear of failure, rejection, or inadequacy often has roots in imposed expectations, not in our true essence. Reclaiming ownership of your focus is an act of freedom. When you consciously decide where to place your attention, you stop being a pawn of external influences. This doesn't mean ignoring society, but being more selective about what you consume and how you react. You have the power to choose whether to feed your fear with more fear or to nurture your growth, peace, and fulfillment. Directing your focus towards something that strengthens and makes sense to you is a daily and conscious choice. Think about how you feel when you devote time to something that truly matters, like a personal project, an activity that brings you joy, or a moment of introspection. Compare that to the time spent worrying about what others think or trying to meet perceived standards. When you choose to focus on what's important to you, you begin to create a reality more aligned with who you truly are. Remember, while society may try to shape your desires and beliefs, you have the power to decide what matters. Consciously choosing where to place your attention is a revolutionary act and a declaration that you are the creator of your own reality. What you focus on grows. So, choose to nurture what strengthens you and let the rest go. That is the key to living with purpose and freedom. Have you ever felt like society is controlling your focus with fears and standards that aren't yours? How about starting to notice where your attention is going, and if necessary, redirecting it to something that empowers you? Leave a comment below on how you've been dealing with this. We'd love to hear your experiences and thoughts. Manifesting with attention and resistance. Have you ever wondered why sometimes you feel trapped in an endless cycle of the same problems? It could be a repeating relationship pattern, persistent financial difficulties, or feelings of inadequacy that follow you everywhere. Often, the reason these situations persist is tied to the resistance you feel toward them. This resistance has everything to do with how you direct your attention. When faced with something unwanted, it's natural to resist, to feel anger, sadness, or fear. But the more we try to push these emotions away, the more energy we give to them, because our focus remains on what we don't want. Imagine trying to hold a ball underwater. The harder you press to keep it down, the stronger it pushes back. Resistance consumes your energy, leaving you exhausted and often strengthening what you are trying to avoid. Let's explore how resistance affects the manifestation of the reality you desire. Think of something you really want to change in your life. It could be a personal situation, a habit, or even a dream that seems distant. When you focus on what you dislike, like the frustration of not reaching your goal or the fear of failing again, you're feeding that energy. Life doesn't respond to the labels you place on things, good or bad. It responds to the content of your focus. So if you're always trying to push away what you don't want, that energy stays active. The path to changing this starts with acceptance. It may seem counterintuitive, but accepting a difficult situation or a painful feeling is the key to releasing the resistance that holds you back. When you accept, you stop fighting against what already is. It's like letting go of the ball you were trying to keep submerged. The tension dissipates. This doesn't mean you like what happened or want it to continue. It simply means you acknowledge that it is real and present. Without this acceptance, you remain trapped in the energy of resistance. Imagine you're in a job you dislike, but feel you can't leave due to financial reasons. The more you focus on the frustration, the more drained you feel. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means stopping the fight against reality and asking yourself, what can I do from here? With acceptance, your energy can be redirected toward finding solutions, like seeking new qualifications or opportunities. Often, we try to ignore difficult emotions like sadness, fear, or anger, believing they'll go away if we avoid them. In reality, they become stronger in the subconscious and influence our actions. Accepting the presence of these feelings allows you to observe them without letting them take control, reducing their power over you. After acceptance, the next step is transforming the situation into an opportunity. When you stop wasting energy resisting, you create space to see possibilities that were once hidden. The situation may not be ideal, but what lessons can it teach you? What skills can you develop from it? Facing a challenge with acceptance allows you to grow stronger rather than feel defeated. Finally, to manifest the reality you want, you need to redirect your focus to what you want to create. This means no longer giving attention to what drains you, but instead focusing on the actions, thoughts, and feelings that bring you closer to your goal. If you're seeking a healthy relationship, for example, instead of focusing on past hurts or the fear of rejection, shift your attention to the type of relationship you want to build. Focus on becoming the person you'd like to attract, feeling good about yourself, and creating new experiences. The process of manifesting with attention and resistance is actually a cycle. The more you resist what you don't want, the more trapped you become. When you accept, transform, and redirect your focus, you free up energy to create new realities. This doesn't happen overnight, but with practice and awareness, you become more capable of choosing where to place your attention. A practical tip to start is to ask yourself, whenever you feel stuck, am I resisting or accepting? If you notice resistance, take a deep breath and say to yourself, I accept that this is happening. Then ask yourself, how can I use this to grow or change? Finally, redirect your focus to what you want. This simple exercise, when repeated, can transform how you relate to challenges and your own energy. Remember, acceptance is not the end of the fight, but the beginning of a conscious path to transformation. When you let go of resistance, you create space for new possibilities to emerge. The power is in your hands, and you have more control over your reality than you might think. Accept, transform, redirect, and watch as life starts to respond differently. Before we move on to the next step, I have a quick question. Have you liked this content yet? Doing so really helps ensure that YouTube continues showing our videos to you and allows us to keep going together on this journey of transformation and growth. So go ahead, give this video a like. It's quick, free, and makes all the difference. Thank you for your support. Let's keep moving forward. The 3-step method to redirect your focus and create the desired reality. Imagine a moment when everything seems to be falling apart around you. It could be a tough argument, a mistake with serious consequences, or a failure you didn't expect. When something like this happens, the first reaction is often to resist what's happening. We want things to be different, we fight against reality, and most of the time, we end up stuck in a cycle of pain, anger, or frustration. However, there is a way to break this pattern and turn any situation into a starting point for something better. It requires 3 crucial steps: acceptance, transformation, and focus redirection. The first step is acceptance. Many people confuse acceptance with giving up or weakness. They think that accepting something bad means conforming or stopping the fight. But true acceptance has nothing to do with giving up. It is about stopping the fight against an existing reality, acknowledging it as it is. Practical task. When facing a challenge, take a minute, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, I accept that this is happening now. Write down what you're feeling and recognize that these feelings are real. This helps ease the weight of initial resistance. Think of a common situation, like being stuck in heavy traffic. Feeling angry or frustrated is natural, but fighting against what cannot be changed only increases stress. When you accept the situation by telling yourself, I'm here and I can't change this now, your energy is released. This allows you to breathe, reflect, or find better ways to deal with the moment. Accepting a situation is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. It means having the courage to face reality as it is, without masks or denial. And this is essential for the second step, transforming challenges into opportunities. When you accept a difficult situation, you start to see beyond the immediate problem. You begin to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? How many times have you looked at a situation thinking it was a disaster, only to later realize there was a lesson to be learned? Are you willing to see challenges as opportunities? Practical challenge. Take a recent challenge you faced and write down 3 things you learned or how it strengthened you. It can be a small lesson, a new skill, or something that made you see things differently. The goal is to turn the problem into an opportunity. Think of how many people have turned failures into opportunities. An entrepreneur whose business fails may, after accepting the situation, realize there is a better way to run things or an overlooked market. Someone facing a major disappointment in a relationship may, instead of drowning in pain, use the moment to reconnect with themselves, set healthier boundaries, or seek relationships more aligned with their values. Transformation does not happen because the situation was good, but because there was courage to accept and find something useful, even under difficult circumstances. And now we come to the third step, which can truly change everything: redirecting your attention to what you want to create. Can you imagine how your life would be if you gave more energy to your dreams and less to your fears? Think of what you could achieve if, instead of worrying about possible mistakes, you celebrated each small step forward. Many of us end up trapped in cycles of worry and doubt, but the key to breaking free is choosing to look ahead, like someone confidently rowing toward their desired destination. Allow yourself this vision. Practical task. Identify a goal or desire you have, and write down a small step you can take today to get closer to it. It can be something simple, like making a phone call, researching information, or spending 10 minutes focusing on that goal. Keep your attention on this action throughout the day. Redirecting focus means consciously deciding where to place your attention. Ask yourself, what do I want instead of this? What is my intention? Instead of getting lost in negative thoughts, concentrate on the actions that lead you to where you want to be. This redirection directly influences your actions and feelings. Someone who wants to improve their physical health can redirect their attention to small daily actions, such as exercising, eating healthier, or getting better sleep, instead of focusing on what they dislike or the distance to their goals. By focusing on solutions and progress, their energy aligns with their goals. This 3-step method, acceptance, transformation, and redirection, is not a magic solution, but it is a powerful way to break patterns of resistance and create the reality you desire. It requires practice, attention, and courage, But as you start to apply it, you realize you have more control over your life than you imagined. You stop being a passive spectator and become an active creator. Whatever challenge you are facing, remember the guiding questions of this practice. Am I resisting or accepting? Am I stuck in the problem or seeking opportunities? Am I redirecting my attention to what I want to create? These reflections, when practiced day after day, reinforce your ability to turn obstacles into possibilities. It is a continuous and gradual process, but every small step you take is a solid step toward building the life you desire. Remember, life will always bring challenges. They are inevitable, but how you choose to face them is what truly counts. You can opt to resist, fight against what cannot be changed, and exhaust yourself, or you can choose to accept, transform, and redirect your energy to what truly matters. By making this decision, you become the true author of your journey, shaping your reality with awareness. So, do you remember everything we talked about? Your focus has the power to transform your life. It all begins with accepting what cannot be changed, using each challenge as a stepping stone to grow, and redirecting your energy to create what you truly want. It's like planting seeds in your garden. The more attention you give to what truly matters, the stronger it grows. Therefore, be mindful. Where you place your focus is what will grow in your life. If you focus on fear and doubt, they will grow. But if you focus on small positive actions, opportunities, and what makes you feel good, you'll see your reality change little by little. If this content helped you, or if you know someone who needs to hear these words, share this video. Like it and leave your comment below. I'd love to know how you are putting these ideas into practice. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time. Keep receiving content that can transform your life. See you in the next video.